All right, I am back as a 47-year-old. Yes, a 47-year-old on a GLP-1. Did I reach my goal of 199 on my 47th birthday on April 1st?
Started as a whisper, message from a new world I'd never know.
Let's talk about it. Okay, y'all. So I am checking in on weeks 3 and 4. And the 4th week was during my birthday. So let's get into it. And I will not hold you guys. I did not meet my goal of getting to 199. Okay.
Wow.
So there was a lot of going back and forth with my weight. And I am one of those people that will get on the scale daily. No, it does not mess with my mind. That's just my barometer. And I just need to see what's going on. Sometimes it makes no rhyme or reason why the scale is going up or down. For instance, right before my birthday, I was like eating half of what I would normally eat. And I was like, okay, we have got to nip this in the bud. We have got to make sure we get adequate calories in. And so I found myself tracking, making sure I'm hitting my protein goals. My goal is to get 100 grams of protein and just to get over 1,000 calories, like to get me over the hump so I can have energy and not be a walking zombie and have adequate calories. Okay. And I can remember doing that for a couple of days. And then like the next morning I would be like 2 pounds heavier. Like, I'm like, what is going on? And so then my birthday came and I was like, to heck with it. I'm going to eat the cake. I'm going to just eat whatever I want to, which I don't even think I had anything too terribly bad on my birthday. I think I ate what I would normally eat. And then we had the ice cream cake. And so I ate the ice cream cake. And then the next day, I incorporated the cake again, even 2 slices. So on my birthday, I woke up having lost a pound. And then the next day, when I continued to indulge in my birthday shenanigans or festivities as far as food goes, I lost another pound. And so I didn't even bother to track those days because I was just like, I know I'm not hitting macros and I have no clue. Like, I thought I would have just gone well over my calories that will put me out of a deficit. So I have no clue. I should have tracked those days, but those days I was just kind of perturbed, having gained 2 pounds by doing everything right. And I just didn't really care those days and then ended up losing the 2 pounds. So that was interesting. But I just wanted to go over kind of a breakdown of the month. I know I'm reporting on week 3 and 4. Week 3, I felt like the suppression came. I take my shot on Saturday. So Sunday, I think I might have reported on it some in the first video I did, but we went out of town to my hometown church when I was a little girl, and the black Southern food, like the soul food they had that day, right after church, and I was able to eat a lot of that food. And so I was like, wow, like my suppression has not kicked in. So that was Sunday. And then by Monday, the suppression had kicked in. And so I found myself over and over eating half of what I had been normally eating prior to this journey, which I already thought I was in a calorie deficit before I got on my GLP-1. So, apparently I wasn't because I wasn't losing weight, but I have noticed that for me, what I've started doing is just breaking my meals into small meals, and that's how I'm able to get adequate calories in. So for instance, breakfast is maybe 2 boiled eggs and 3 slices of bacon. I might throw in some strawberries and cottage cheese if I can eat that much. If I can't eat the strawberries and cottage cheese, that goes next into the next meal, which will be a snack, eating the strawberries and cottage cheese. Okay. And then lunch is typically a salad with added protein, like a chicken breast, to get in another, 30 grams of protein. And at night, again, I'm focusing on the protein with like some veggies, and some more carbs. So, yeah, it's been an interesting ride for sure. So, I'm going to go down like a breakdown of the date. So, I started on March the 7th and I was 211 pounds. And then by March the 10th, I noticed I had dropped down to 207.6. Okay. And by March 16th, I was down 206. March the 18th, I was down 205. March 28th, I was down 203. And this is kind of where things get tricky because I found when I reached 203, I continued to go back up. Like I continue to go back up between like 205. I never got back to 203 again. I would go 205. At one point I had got up to 206. And then back down to 204. So today, which is shot day going into my 5th week, I'm 204. So 203 is the lowest that I got. And that was at the end of March. But today is the end of my first full month. So I gained a pound. So I don't know. That's just the story and how it goes. So first week I've lost 5 pounds. By the second week I lost another pound. By the third week I lost 2 pounds. By the fourth week I'm putting that I gained a pound. So overall total for the month is 7 pounds down, which I'm happy about because normally I would need to be firing on all cylinders to lose weight. Typically, I lose anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds a month on a weight loss journey. And I know that because I've done this so many times before. Like I had lost the same 25 pounds over and over. I've lost 50 pounds twice. So I know what I typically lose in like that first full month of going into a health and weight loss journey. So this is a little bit lower, but I barely worked out. I probably worked out twice the entire month. If I were doing this my normal way, I would be working out 5 to 6 days a week, about an hour and a half in the gym, and then my diet had to be on point. So I would say this is a win because I worked out, I'm going to say twice. I need to document that more. I worked out probably twice because I wanted to see how it would work on its own. And my diet was probably 80%. Okay. And 20% I was kind of like off. Sometimes I would have popcorn. And you know what I noticed the most, which is crazy, because I eat keto low carb because diabetes runs in my family, insulin resistance, all of that stuff. So I always try to stay on the lower carb of things, but the times where I just ate whatever, I remember my husband's parents came into town. We went to the zoo. We went out to eat. Like I remember at the zoo, I ate loaded fries, like loaded cheeseburger fries. I had the popcorn as a snack. What else did I eat? Like we had Dairy Queen that night. Now, granted, we did walk at the zoo, the entire zoo. So that might have like canceled everything out. But I just know that on days where I will kind of just eat whatever, I would lose the most weight. It's interesting. In the days where I was tracking and being diligent, I would go up. So I don't know if that has some stress in it and some cortisol attached to that. I don't know. But going into the next month, we're just going to be a little bit more diligent with tracking because I do want to make sense of, and sometimes you just can't. You just can't. I'm getting my blood work done. I just went to see my OBGYN getting blood work done. She already said I was iron deficient. I'm usually vitamin D deficient, but I was already on a vitamin D supplement. I have included NAD. I just got some Moreland in, so I'm excited about that too. So that's going to help me focus more on my sleep, getting adequate sleep, and maybe sleep might have played a role in it too. Some nights I got plenty of sleep, and some nights I would be up. So sleep, I need not sleep on sleep, but sleep is important. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back and talk about what I'll be doing differently going into my 5th week in this next phase. So what is this? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So 5th through 8th week phase. I would like to lose 10 pounds, but we shall see. We shall see. 8 to 10 pounds would be really good. But I think that's it. That's where I'm going to end this. I just wanted to come in. I was supposed to report if I had gotten down to 199. We are not there yet. The goal is to definitely get down to 199 in this next phase. Then we'll move on to 180. And then we will go to 150. And at 150, we will evaluate if we want to go. And I say we, meaning me, if we want to go any lower than that. My last big transformation was around 148, 150. That's where I kind of stayed. I was like a size 4'6". I was great with that, had great muscle. Just living my best life, crushing it in the gym. It was great. And so we'll see this time around. I may need to lose a little bit more. If I'm, I was bodybuilding back then. I don't know if I have it in me to like be a bodybuilder, but I do have a background with lifting weights ever since high school. So I will always strength train, which strength train will be vitally important with this journey because we are trying to preserve the muscle that we do have and add more. I know it's going to be hard to do both while being in a deficit and trying to lose as well, but I'm going to try my best to keep the muscle that I have and gain what little that I can, all the while burning fat and losing fat as well. So that is it. That is it. I hope y'all will follow along. I'm so excited about this journey. And if you have started your GLP-1 journey, let me know how far you are into it. Let me know, are you still on your weight loss journey or have you reached maintenance and how that's going? Let me know if you are on semaglutide or semaglutide, however you want to say it, tirzepatide, Zepbound, Mounjaro, all the good things. Let me know. I want to start a community here. I'm so excited because I feel like, people talk about this is an easy way out. Like for someone like me, and I was watching Oprah today and they were talking about Enough. She had a guest on there that had wrote the book Enough and it's about GLP-1s. And some of us have a higher set point that our bodies are always trying to get back to. And for Oprah, it was 211. For me, it's around 210, 215. So anytime I get way out of hand, I shoot back up to 210, between 210 and 215. And then I'll get down, like I would always get down to about 180. But one time I was able to get to 135. And then this last time I was able to get to 148. So, and when I'm there, it's like I had to fight so hard to stay there. And it makes sense because my body set point wants to go back up to 210. Why, I don't know. But like I was basically like doing so much in the gym. I would have to get up and do an hour of cardio. Then I would have to go during lunch, this is during my bodybuilding, for like an hour and a half of strength training because I was training for a competition. And then I would have about 30 more minutes of cardio at night. And do you know, like, I probably lost 5 pounds that entire year by doing all of that, which is crazy to me. Someone working out that much should be losing a ton of weight. Now, granted, I had already lost all of my weight the year before and practically weighed the same thing. I was a runner the year before, and then I decided I want to do bodybuilding the next year. But I basically just recomped my body and did not lose a ton of weight. Like I said, maybe 5 pounds, if that. I was typically around the same weight. So my body is always fighting to get back to that 210, 215. And so I want to get as far away from the 200s as possible, which is what I was trying to do initially when I got down to 148, the second time I lost 50 pounds. But my little girl got cancer. She was sick. And by the time she had passed away, I just looked it up. By the time she had passed away, so I got into amazing shape 2018, 2019. By the time she passed away in 2020, so I started gaining my weight during her journey in the hospital because we lived in the hospital. Me and her dad lived in the hospital with her. We ate the hospital food. I tried to work out. This was during the big C, the other big C. And, most gyms were closed, and a lot of establishments were closed. And so that was a very stressful time. So by the time she had passed in September of 2020, October 2020, I saw where I was on the scale and I was 214.8. So I literally went from like 148 and shot all the way back up to 214.8. So we're not doing that again. Like, this is it. We're not doing that again. No matter what comes my way, I'm going to do my best to stay as far away from 200 as possible. And that's what I'm starting to embrace the GLP-1 because I feel like that's going to be my saving grace. As someone who was anti-GLP-1, because I was like, the work needs to be put in because I've always had to put in so much work. I feel like I've had to put in more work than the average person. Like, I've always been fighting to just be this normal weight where everybody else can just be a normal weight. And I realized that not everyone has food noise running through their head. So I even had food noise when I was bodybuilding. It was just crazy. It just never leaves. And so I am going up to 5 milligrams tonight. I'm taking my shot tonight. I was going to stay on the 2.5, but the way I'm going up and up, yo-yoing, I'm going to get on the 5. And we're going to see how that goes. I'm a little nervous because my symptoms have not been too terribly bad. The backache that I had in weeks 1 and 2, and it started getting better in 3, like week 4 it was gone. And like week 4, kind of felt like I barely even took my shot. I do not know what happened there. I do not know. Like, it just felt like I hadn't even been on the shot this week. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. It's a journey. We are all an experiment. Our bodies are all an experiment at the end of the day, and we just have to see what works for us. But this video is getting long, but I'm so excited to check in with you guys. I'm going to come on here weekly. We're going to do weekly check-ins where I'm going to check in with you guys, and then you can check in with me as well. And I'm hoping to do that on Sunday or Monday. I don't know yet. So it's Saturday. I'm hoping to upload this tomorrow. And if I can keep up with that schedule, then my check-ins will be on Sunday. If not, my check-ins will be on Monday. But either way, I'm going to commit to doing a weekly check-in and taking you guys on this journey with me to getting my spark back. I have a 3-year-old now that I need to not waste any more time. It's been 6 years since my little girl passed away. And it took me all throughout my 30s to lose the 50 pounds I had gained with her. I had her at 31, and it took me until 41 to get into amazing shape. So I don't want to waste my time. And then she was gone. I don't want to waste my time with my 3-year-old being out of shape, being too tired to jump on the trampoline, being too tired to do any activities. Like right now, he and his dad do all the outside activities, and I'm in the house. Like, I don't want that. I do not want that for myself, for him, for my husband. I don't want that for my family. I want better quality of life. This is not about vanity. This is not about looks. This is a better quality of life. The looks, the being in shape, the being able to wear whatever you want, that is just icing on the top. Quality of life is king, queen, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I don't know how long this video is, but I'm going to stop it right here. And I will look forward to seeing you guys next week around this time. All right. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.